Imperial Tropicals here. Sorry, I've been just like every day, been a little crazy. Got lots and lots of fish to take care of, and it's been keeping us really busy. So that's a good thing. But we got a big cold front coming in. So for all you people that live in the northeast, northwest, that's been used to this kind of cold weather, well, your cold weather is pushing all the way down here to Florida this weekend because we're going to have some of the coldest temperatures that we've had in probably 4 or 5 years. Our low is going to be like 25 degrees. So obviously tropical fish don't like cold weather. So we've been working really hard trying to get everything buttoned up and make sure everything is covered and looking good. And then we're going to hopefully weather this cold front that's coming in. So I know last Friday I was showing you guys the new racks. So I'm going to start with that, showing you the progress on the new racks, and then we're going to go take a look at the Brazil order that we received on Wednesday. So, hey, Ahmad, I can see finally. Yeah, I've been wearing them nonstop because I didn't really realize how bad my vision had gotten. So yeah, I can finally see. So I'm going to flip this thing around and show you guys the new rack. So we got lights up, we got filters up, everything is up. No fish on this side, but we did start using the other side for fish. This is the final rack for our building, so it's a big relief. Seems like it took forever to get this many tanks and racks built, but we're finally done. So now we are going to be loaded with tanks, which is a good thing. So we're still waiting for some material like the mat filters. So these are just sitting empty, waiting on the filters. But once those get in, we'll have this one up going too. So that makes a total of 7 rows in the warehouse with fish in them. So I think it's somewhere around 900 tanks. And that should be plenty of tanks. We'll be good if we could fill those all up with beautiful fish. So one thing that we have been doing is we've been getting the Brazilian fish set up in the breeding colonies. So, and they're doing really, really well. We started pulling fry already out of these German yellow lithobates. The Madokas, these are some that are for sale, so we still have some of the albino Madokas, and the rest of them we've got growing up. They're going to need to be a little bit bigger before they start breeding. This new Potomalis Anakin's, I like it so much, we're going to pull there's only a few females in there, so we're going to pull those few females out, set those up as a breeding colony. Same thing with this Niger Pentas. This is one of the Tanganyikan types that we brought in from Germany. Those are going into a breeding group. We got the German Yellow Blaze set up in a breeding group. Those guys are looking nice. Got 2 males in there. Both of them are showing full color. It looks like we've got one of the German Dragon Blood males left. I don't know if he's already spoken for yet. And then we got a tank set up with females with another male. So those are all doing really well. We got the Friar Eye, Iceberg, Ali. Those 2 males are looking really nice. And these guys are easy to breed. So I think we pulled two females that we're holding, and there's a couple more that's got eggs right now. So the breeding is going really well. Another tank of the black orange lithobates. That one's got 3 males in it. But everything's looking really good. Started putting the fry. We're going to keep the fry from these fish over here. We got some William's Eye, Blue Lips that we moved over here from a smaller tank. So got Alana Carb Restratums. In fact, I think they just pulled a bunch more fry today. That's what they're getting set up for right now, is to get those fry, hatched out and growing up. We got this side of the German rack. We got some smaller black orange lithobates growing up here. These guys breed a lot better, the black orange with the baits, in these indoors than they do in the greenhouses. You can see a nice male colored up on the flavescent there. So looking good. And we got, some peacocks that I've never had before, or seen in person before. This is, they don't look too, colorful yet. They're just now getting big enough to start to color up. But that's the Alanacara Madoka. So I know, we go by a lot of, common names, like the Madoka white lip. But Madoka is a location on Lake Malawi. So this is a peacock that comes from the same location as the Madoka white lip does. So just like the star sapphire is a Tanzanian that comes from Tanzania side of the lake. You can see the ruby red right there. That male's kind of being shy in the back, but that's all those girls in the tank with him. So that's going really well. We have a little bit of, concerns with this cold front. We've been doing a lot of water changes today because next week it's going to be so cold. It's going to be hard for us to do water changes on all these tanks. So we got the water pumping in today. You can see the water coming in for the water change. So they're getting about a 30% water change today. We added these blue tubs in here, which by the end of the day, this will be set up as a recirculating system for our water changes for the Brazil fish. So we're going to have this set up for soft water. And then that way we've got the perfect water for doing water changes on the Brazilian fish. So I'm going to try to keep up with some of these questions. For some reason, it doesn't pop up on my screen, the questions and comments, until I touch the screen. So I'm going to try to answer some of these as I go. Let me get it on a tank so you guys can stare at fish instead of staring at nothing, and I'll answer some of these questions. Ahmad's on, still in India. So that's awesome, man. I hope your trip is going really well, and can't wait for you to get back into the States. Avenger Revolution, hello. Sharon, hello. Lucky Dog says, is Greg with a large half order. Hey, Greg, that's a big order. I told the guys, make sure they pull you some really nice males. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we talked about shipping it airport to airport. So hopefully the guys have got that lined up for you. And I think it'll be a lot better for a big order like that. And man, I can't wait to see pictures of it. So keep us updated with how everything goes. And I like to see them in your tank. And every time we get a new comment, it sends it all the way to the top. Caged Aquatic says, hope you guys are having a good day. Show Off says, good afternoon, everyone. Aquafunk says, when you going to be good to do a store tour? I would love to do a video someday. I only live 12 minutes away. Wow, that's close. Well, we've had so much construction going on in the building, and especially with the COVID still being a problem. But I think we're getting closer to being able to have people come out. I know the Tampa Bay Aquarium Society is wanting to plan a date to do a tour. So that's probably going to be in June. So maybe whenever we do that tour group with the Tampa Bay Aquarium Society, we'll have a few more people come out. Local, we'll open it up for everybody. So we'll have like one Saturday that, we could do like an open house for people to come out and check the place out. And that'll give us time. We still got a lot of construction stuff going on. So that'll give me time to get all this stuff cleared out and get all this equipment put up and get the front of this building looking good. So I would say tentatively we'll do something in June, for open to the public. So And I can't wait to start having people back out. I'm ready for our lives to go back to normal. All right, Jermaine, what's up? David, yes, Ahmad, the Aquaquilion Madoka, beautiful fish. Greg Van Fleet, what's up? A flick at the wrist. 80s Monster Kid said he received his 4-inch black orange lifted baits last Tuesday and he looks amazing. Well, I am so glad that he arrived. We have actually had a lot of trouble shipping those out. We had, I think, 4 of them go out, and we had troubles with 3 of the orders. So you were one of the fortunate ones that made it. So we're going to do some test shipping on those guys, but it seems like when they get bigger than 3 inches, they just don't ship well. So we're going to have to do some testing on the bigger guys, which, you know, hasn't been a problem because usually we don't have them bigger than 3 inches, but we had some bigger males that we grew up, and that's one of the ones you got, and they're beautiful fish. In fact, the males that I was showing earlier in the tank is some of the same ones that we grew up, you know, to that bigger size. So Nashad's on. What's up, Nashad? Hope you're staying warm in Chicago. I know it's cold. Chevy Fish, Bunny, Dan Coat. We're doing good. It's we're just preparing for some Arctic weather coming to Florida, and you know, just hoping that all my heaters and everything doesn't fail me. All right, guys, I'm gonna start going through this Brazil order. All right. Show-up's asking if we got any Madoka white lips males available. We do. I in fact saw some in the tank earlier, so I'll go by and show them to you here in a few minutes. So this is a sneak peek of the Brazil order. All right, so this is Retroculus shinguensis. They're really small, and there's only 3. So I do not know for sure if we are going to sell these 3 little guys, but if you have time, you should Google what the Retroculus shinguensis looks like, because that is a spectacular little bottom dweller. It's actually a fish that doesn't have a swim bladder. All right, so it's kind of like a catfish. It stays on the bottom, but they are really cool. I've got some other Retroculus lepidifers that I'll show you that are a little bit bigger, but the shinguensis are the ones that are, you know, the most colorful. These are some pike cichlids. They've been kind of hiding. I think we're going to end up putting some pipes in there so they feel more comfortable. But that is the lubrus, Chinchilla lubrus. So those are really cool. They're when they get done stressing, they'll be jet black, and then there'll be a big like red, you know, bar down the middle. This guy's hiding in there, and I might get a ladder and show you what he looks like, because that's a big male, and that is a special fish. That is the Chinchilla rosemaria. And since Brazil has opened up their fisheries to allow more species to come out, this is the first time, you know, since they opened it up, that this fish has been shipped in the U.S. Now, I know that other people have been bringing them in. I've seen them available, but it's a really, really rare pike cichlid that looks really, really nice. And that's not even full coloration for that fish. It actually turns like bright green with those red spots. But there he goes. He's swimming out now. Really, really pretty fish. Let's see now. He's getting a little attitude with me. See that? Flaring up. He's like, why are you messing with me? And we got some little feeder fish in there to keep him company. So, but he's doing good. He'll probably want to go right back in that pipe there. So those are cool. We got the dwarf pike cichlids, the compressiceps. So, and if I'm not mistaken, these do not get nearly as big as some of the other pikes. Probably why they got the dwarf pike name as the common name. but they are feisty little boogers, but they're really nice. And then we got the pike cichlid strigatas. So this is another new one to me. I'm gonna have to learn more about this particular one, but I know they're really, really cool. Pike cichlids are got a lot of personality. So, and then this is the lepidifers, or Cichlids lepidifers. You can see these guys are bigger, but they are really cool fish. They do get pretty big. I remember a friend of mine, he was the first one to breed the lepidifer and the shingoensis in captivity. And I remember seeing his breeders, and they were like 8-10 inches. So they do get a little big, but they're not like mean fish. Of course, they will eat something if it's small, but you know, you could keep other like geophagus and other cichlids. You know, even the pikes would probably be fine with those. Those are awesome. These are the Lectara Aguilera, but they turn black. It's like I think they call it the black port cichlid also. But those guys are looking really, really nice. So we're going to save some of these guys back for breeders, and then we're going to offer them up for sale. We did get some peacock bass. They are really, really small. So we're going to have to probably grow these guys up before they're big enough to ship out, because they're only like 2 inches long. We got the King Tiger L66s. Those guys are kind of hiding, but they're a really nice size too. So those turned out really good. The Decrosis maculatus, another, you know, dwarf cichlid type. They came in with a little bit of fin rot, so they're under treatment right now, but they're looking really nice. So no health issues with those guys. Just got them under a little bit of medication just to help them heal back from the shipping. And my lights aren't working on these tanks, so I'm going to use my flashlight here, because these are some Plecos that I've never had before. This is the L48. It's a Scobia ancistrius. There's actually 2 types in there, but really, really nice Plecos. Now Brazil is very, very proud of their fish, and these guys are not cheap. So we're going to baby these guys up, do our best to get them healthy, and then we're going to ship them out to you. We got some L25s, some L24s. We got some more of the Rose Maria. I think we only brought in like 3 of those guys. I think this is probably the female here. I don't know. Yeah. Let's see if I can't get them to stay out. Yeah, I think that's the female there. Get the flashlight on. So one thing that we are doing is we created listings for these fish on our website. So you could go to the website and look at the listing. The inventory is 0 because we're not going to start selling them until they're 100% healthy. This is another new one to me. This is a golden vampire. It looks like an L75. They might not have the L number on there, but those are really nice. We got some L134s. Those guys are looking really nice. I really like these Picoltias right here, the Cavatia. Those guys, lights are working on this tank, so I don't have to use a flashlight, but so lots and lots of different Plecos. Then you got the Corydoras Swartz Eye. Really nice Corys. Beautiful. I was excited because a lot of these fish have not been available to us. So, you know, this is the first time, you know, that I've seen these fish ever. And we got the Acuratus, which looks similar to what I see the skunk cory looks like, but I'm sure there is a slight difference. That's the thing about a lot of these cories and Plecos. There's only like slight differences between them, but they come from different parts of the South America. Like these are from Brazil, and the skunk cories, we get those from usually Colombia. This is another nice one. This is the Hypostomus fabulus. So it's in the Hypostomus family, but if I'm not mistaken, they don't get nearly as big as a lot of the other hyposmus do. Alright, we got the yellow 333s. This tank's a little cloudy right now. That's what we're getting set up to do water changes here. Probably won't be able to do water changes until tomorrow. We got the Magnum Plecos, the L47s. Those guys are really nice. I've had those guys in the past, and they're really hardy. They don't get like super big. So if you're looking for some really colorful bottom dwellers in your tank, I do ask that nobody puts these with African cichlids. I know that we get asked that almost daily, or if not for sure several times a week, about putting, you know, gold nuggets in an African cichlid tank, and we adamantly, you know, tell people that that is not a good idea. Could it be done? Yes, but you're going to end up losing fish, and these, especially these wild caught, are too precious not to give them the proper home. This is another nice one. This is ancistrus type, the Corydoras L34s. See if I can't get one of these guys to come out. There we go. All they're wanting to do is hide. So really nice bushy nose. You can see a big one back there in the back. So yeah, do not mix these with African cichlids. Set you up a South American tank and you'll enjoy it a lot more. These are cool. These are the chubby Plecos, Para ancistrus. So what's really cool about these, if a lot of people might not have seen it, but the adults will turn yellow, and science doesn't know why they turn yellow. It doesn't seem to be a breeding dress or anything like that, but the same fish is offered from the wild at a bigger size as a yellow form, and man, they are very, very expensive. I think in the future I'll probably bring some of those in, but there's a huge price difference from the wild when you buy the ones that are just the black, and then when you buy the ones you know, that are the yellowish gold, you know. But that's another cool, good tank cleaner. And as I was saying earlier, these guys are on the website as of today, but the inventory is 0. So we did that because we want you guys to have first dibs on them. So you could go on the website. I don't think we have pictures of these guys yet. There might be a few that we already had photos of, but you'll at least be able to see the name, all right? But they're not going to be for sale until we put them up on the website. So if you see something on this Brazil order that you would like to get, go ahead and get that out of stock notification, and that way hopefully next week we can start putting some of these on the website, and when we do put them on the website, you'll get first dibs on them whenever they go on the website. So we got some black and white 333s here. The hypancistrus are really, really unique because, like, there's so many just slightly different forms of hypancistrus depending on the location. So I like them though because they don't get real big. They are meat eaters, so they're not going to in your tank for you. They like frozen foods. See if I get this Goldie Pleco to come out. He's back there hiding underneath that Indian almond leaf. Let's see. There he comes. So we did bring in, we only have one of these, the L14 Goldie Pleco. So, average revolution, I did see your question pop up, asking about the dwarf pikes, going with the Geophagus savannah. I don't see why not. You might go to that, there's a pike Facebook page for chinchillas. You might go on that page and ask the group their opinions on it. Because I haven't had, you know, much experience putting the pike cichlids with Geophagus types, but I'm sure if the tank's big enough that they should be fine together. Here's the L75s. So those guys are looking really nice too. Plecos are always been one of my favorite. As a kid growing up, I remember my parents bringing in some L46s and keeping those as a kid. And the Royal Plecos were always a favorite of mine. And then when I got out of the military, that's really what I had my interest in was breeding Plecos, you know. So I brought in all different types back in the day and was breeding them. L17, the Wolverine Pleco. That's another new one to me. You see one hanging on the side right there. Really nice fish though. And what I recommend is a lot of these Pleco types is, you know, people should try to breed them. Right now, most of them are only available as wild caught, but it would be great to see people tank raising them and offering them to the hobby. This is another dwarf one. This is the Dicrosis filamentosus, so they stay really small. Really nice, peaceful fish. And then we got some wild-caught Geophagus alprons. So I'm excited for that. We're definitely going to be pulling out a small group to set up for breeders on those. We also got some Geophagus argistictus. So another really nice rare geo. So those guys are going to be, we're going to probably pull out, you know, a group for breeding, and then the rest are going to put up for sale. So those guys will be available too. Let me get down here and show you the L262s. Let's see if I could. They're little, about 2 inches, but that's another really nice Ancistrus. L64s right here. That's a pseudo Ancistrus. So those guys are nice too. They got like black with some white spots, almost gold looking spots. Really nice. What else we got? Lots of new tetras. The common name for this is the watermelon tetra. I know Amazonas magazine had a lot of these new tetras in it recently, so that's exciting. The Wise Monai, this is the Black Darter tetra. And this is the SP Cherry tetra. So this is by far the most I've ever paid for tetras before, because the list in Brazil, because that's the only place you could get these fish. They're very, very expensive. But we're being, you know, breeders. We're wanting to breed these fish, so we're going to pull out a group of these guys for breeding, and then we're going to offer the rest of them up for sale. So if you want some really nice rare tetras, these guys are going to be available. This is the Microturus, another nice tetra. And then this is another one, Nagadu. So, and all these fish just came in, 2 nights ago? So this is the yellowfin red hook. These guys are looking nice. We got the black barred, silver dollars. Those guys are looking good. Panaki L271s. Those guys are looking good. Really nice. And we went to a lot of work to prepare the tanks for these guys. Like, that's where all the wood you see in there, we split those up. Here's a big guy. He's Panaki. He's already liking feeding on that wood. See that? Upside down. But those guys are going to be really, really, you know, tough to ship though because of the size. But we might end up doing airport to airport because it'll be a lot better. And then my probably all-time favorite fish is this, the Hypostomus luteus. This is the one that I went to Argentina and collected firsthand. Super rare fish. These are phase 2 on their color, so they're just starting to turn yellow. And they get really big, so you're going to need a big tank, but that's the Hypostomus luteus right there. They get a really, really high top fin. And you find them on the Brazil and Argentina border, in the Paraguay river system. So super excited to finally have those back, because until Brazil started shipping them, those guys were not available, because getting them out of Argentina was like nearly impossible. This is the L98. This is the Tanky. Really nice fish, named after, I think it's Andres Tanky out of Germany. This is his fish that was named after him. So I actually saw him on the list, and that's the reason I ordered him, is because actually when I went to Germany, met him and spent quite a bit of time with him and Ingo Sedell. So we got lots of gold nuggets, and the interesting thing about the gold nuggets is that we have 3 different locations. They're all L81s, all right, but this is the San Felix location. So the fishy life, yes, I do. I still have, I think, 5 big luteus set up. They basically became my, just our pets. I haven't done anything different. They're very healthy and very happy. But we're actually going to be building a new setup just for those guys and work on breeding them again. So they've only been bred in captivity one time, and that information was not given on how they bred them, but they didn't succeed a second time breeding them. They were on Glazer's list from Germany, the F1s, and they didn't last long. Everybody snapped up the juvies. So hopefully somebody, figures out how to breed them. That was one reason I went down to Argentina, is to learn more about their habitat. Very fast flowing river. That's one reason they have such a tall fin. So, we're definitely, going to be working on those guys. I'm just working on getting a new setup for them with faster flowing water. This is the L81 gold nugget that comes from the Xingu. All right. And then the one that I didn't talk about was these guys. And on the list in Brazil, they just called them special. They didn't have a location. So I actually emailed the supplier, and he did a nice, write-up, explaining more about where these guys come from. He didn't give me the exact location, because I assume they don't want other collectors going in there. But we're going to end up doing a write-up on the guys that will tell us more about where they come from, and so actually what's confusing about the berry and citrus, you got lots of different locations for those guys. So I think it's important to keep the location with the fish so people know where they come from. Actually, these guys got moved. That tank's empty. And we got some L29s here. We got some L07s. Leprocanthus Galaxy. All right, so that's pretty much, there's still more. L141s. We got, I skipped over the L59s. I didn't see those guys. Actually, they're on the end. I think they're on the end. This is the Ancistrus agabuensis. I'm going to have to learn these names too. Really nice Ancistrus type. So lots of new breeding projects. So if you buy these fish from us, please try to breed them, and it's not, I say it's not difficult. It's not difficult to set up the proper tank setup for them. Soft water, a lot of them are going to be fast flowing fish, fast flowing water. So, set them up the way nature has them, and then they'll breed. That's it. You create the proper environment and have those guys happy with the food and the diet, and you'll have babies. And a lot of these would be the first reported spawns of these fish because they haven't been available before from Brazil. So to me, that's what's the exciting part about fish keeping is the breeding aspect. That's kind of like that means that you created the perfect environment for that fish to want to breed in, you know. So I'm gonna go check on these Madokas because somebody was asking if we had them, and we do have them. So we'll go over here and show him those Madoka white lips. I think we're keeping them in this 75. Yeah, right here. Yeah, I was looking at these guys earlier. So we keep those in a 75 because they just want to, all they want to do is fight and pick on each other. So they do better for us in a 75. And these are all like, you know, right at 3 to 4 inches. The lights on these tanks are not that bright, but you can see them. That's the pink flash fire eye. Really, really nice. All right, I'm gonna set this up on a tank, and then you guys can look at the fish while I answer some of these questions. I'll leave it on the Nairi eye tank. Bunny Viper. Nice. He said he just found it, seen his 398 that had been MIA in his tank. Well, that's the thing about these wild caught, you know, Plecos is they will hide. So you almost have to come in there at night, you know, feed right before you put the lights out and come in there at night. I've actually seen people set up like a red light on their tank that the fish, you know, still thinks it's dark, so they'll come out there and feed at night. But yeah, a lot of these are going to be nocturnal for those wild caught. Canestos, what would you use for water flow in a stream type flow for breeding purposes? So the wave makers, you know, they've got all different sizes of the wave makers. That creates a lot of current. Me personally, I like my pump to have the flow that is running the filtration. So if you got like a wet dry system, or even overkill on a canister filter, you know, would create a lot of flow. Now, if you're talking about flow like for the luteus, you're going to probably need more than just a canister filter. But I'd say like a oversized wave maker. And then also one thing that would help is to design the tank in the way that they could get out of the current. So you just have to build your rock and your structure to where, you know, 3/4 of the tank is getting lots of flow, and then build you like a little wall out of rock and structure for the fish to be able to get out of the current, because a lot of them breed, you know, on the edge of the current where the break is. So that's something to think about, you know, when you are creating tanks with a lot of wave movement is, you know, these fish, yes, they do like the current, but a lot of their time is spent in the break of the current, you know. So, and there's all different ways you could do that to, you know, design the wave maker to not be pushing 100% of the water in the tank, you know. And usually you do that by putting it in such a way that part of the tank has a little bit calmer water, you know. The Hecu, these are really nice Victorian. We've been getting a lot of babies. We're setting the girl and guys that are taking care of these fish in here are starting to set their tanks up and breed some of these types. So like this is Donna's tank of her multifasciatus, and she already pulled quite a few babies out of this tank this week. And you know, so you know, we want everybody that works with us here at Imperial to be involved in the breeding, because you know, you could just tell, you know, how excited people get when they have babies, or fish has babies, and then they take care of those babies. So that's one thing that I think is exciting for everybody here at Imperial, is that, you know, everybody's going to be involved in the process, you know. So If somebody shows an interest in breeding certain fish, then we're going to set it up where they can breed, you know. So we're going to keep expanding on that. Now that we have enough tanks, we can start dedicating some of them for breeding. This is another one that she was wanting to try to breed, was the orange laser Corys. Actually had some breeding on the Paleatus. You can see the eggs up here on the corner. And these are actually, there's some long fin Paleatus on there too. So the breeder that sent those to us probably sent us, juvenile Paleatus that were out of his long fin variant. So I thought that was cool. I really like the long fin, Corys. I know some people don't like breeding towards some of those characteristics of long fins, but I know the long fin Corys look really cool, and it doesn't seem to hurt them for, moving and breeding. Like sometimes long fin fish that are bred with extremely long fins, it kind of, inhibits their growth and stuff like that, but I don't notice that with the Corys at all. All right, I'm gonna catch up with these. Ahmad wants to meet the new employees. I need to, because we've got a bunch of them. We actually, I think since like the beginning of January, I think we've hired 4 people this month. So it's pretty exciting. And, we've been very, very fortunate, because it is a tough time right now to hire employees, because especially here in Florida, there's so much opportunity for work that, there's just, everybody's pretty much got a job, or, so, but we've been very fortunate because people are passionate about fish keeping. These guys just got treated, so the water's a little bit blue on them. Bulgarian green, really nice. But the 4 people, they're all doing awesome, so I'm super excited. They all had a lot more, previous hobbyist experience, which is a good start for us, because if somebody can understand the basics of water quality and water changes and good bacteria, then it makes it a lot easier for them to come in here and understand what we're talking about with water changes and diets and stuff like that. So, and it's exciting because, we have people that are not only passionate, but they could learn. It's endless what you can learn here. Like, we're still learning about all these new Brazil fish. That's going to be a big learning curve. Mike Bernard's been taking care of them, and he's been doing the research on all of them, but everybody here is going to be learning more about these fish, and we want these fish to be kept in such a healthy way that everybody can enjoy them, and that, I think that's one thing that kind of sets us apart from a lot of the other fish people, is that we breed fish. So most, and I'm not like throwing stores under the, saying they're all bad, because there's some excellent stores out there, but there's a lot of let's just say the chain stores, all right? Let's pick on them. They don't really know much about fish, right, at all. So unless you're lucky enough that some, employee at one of these chain stores has experience outside of their job of how to take care of the fish, so if a chain store's got somebody that is, making sure the fish are taken care of and properly, then they're good. But for the most part, all these, chain stores especially care about is the numbers, all right? How many can we sell? They don't really care about the health. But when you buy fish from a breeder, they know, like, not only, how to take care of the fish, but they know how to breed the fish and the optimal conditions for those fish. So, whether it's from us or from a different breeder, you're always going to get a better fish by buying from somebody that knows how to breed fish. And of course, some of these fish are not hard to breed. The Malawis, for example, they're not hard to breed, but when you start raising the fry and doing all that, it adds a whole nother level for your knowledge of how to properly keep these fish, So that's why we encourage, people to breed fish, because it elevates your knowledge of fish keeping. and you'll have less problems, you know, because you'll catch them before they become a problem. You know, you see a fish clamped up, then you know that, hey, he's stressed, and then you could find out why he's stressed, you know. So um, I think the rainbow tank, they're working on cleaning the rainbow tanks right now for Guy. But those have been doing really well. Rainbows have been doing good all winter because they like this little bit cooler air. So, um, all right, guys. So I rambled on enough. Appreciate everybody that joined us today. I appreciate all the support that you guys have given us and allowed us to follow our dream. Like this is this building and all these tanks, and it's been a dream of ours for a long time. So it's feels pretty amazing to come this far already, and we still got so much more that we're going to do. So we've kind of taken the fish game to a whole nother level. So you know, we want everybody to be, you know, very, very good at taking care of their fish, and we're going to work on making a lot more videos for the new people, because since COVID we had a big influx of new fish keepers. Once people were staying at home more, it really you know, brought a lot of new people into the make sure that those new people, you know, have the basic knowledge to start off and be successful. So so everybody have a good weekend. Stay warm. We're going to be trying to keep our fish warm this weekend. So everybody stay safe, and we'll be in touch. So thank you again.